Today is December 4th, 2023. My name is Rob Carter of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, I just want to mention just very briefly, hopefully most of you saw the debate between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and California Governor Gavin Newsom on the Sean Hannity program on Fox News. It did show you, it revealed two things. One is that DeSantis is a strong pro-life politician, and that Gavin Newsom is very pro-abortion. And there's just no getting around the fact that Newsom just kind of is very slippery, and he kind of weasels his way out of some of these radical positions he has, claiming that he's very mainstream. So I hope you watch the program. Today, talk about, again, we'll talk about the Biden administration. I saw on the website lifenews.com that the Biden administration, more specifically the Department of Health and Human Services, again, has proposed a federal rule change that could affect pregnancy care centers. Right now, many pregnancy care centers receive block grants under the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program. It's the TANF program. So under the TANF, states receive blocks of federal tax dollars that they can award to organizations and programs that do four things. Number one, they assist needy families so the children may be cared for in their own homes or in the homes of relatives. Number two, end the dependence of needy parents on government benefits by promoting job preparation, work, and marriage. Three, prevent and reduce the incidence of out-of-wedlock pregnancies. And four, encourage the formation and maintenance of two-parent families. Okay, so the HHS is now determined to isolate pregnancy care centers from these four conditions. Many, if not most of these pregnancy care centers provide information or counseling about chastity or natural family planning to help prevent future out-of-wedlock pregnancies. But the government argues that these centers do not help reduce or prevent out-of-wedlock pregnancies, i.e., these pro-life centers don't dispense or hand out birth control pills to their clients. But instead, pregnancy care centers encourage them to be responsible with their sexual lives, to live chaste lives that may also fit into the idea of encouraging future marriage and the maintenance of two-parent families. Another example of Biden's war on the culture of life. And speaking of Biden, I know he seems to be a target of mine quite frequently, but he does seem to fall into that hole. He claims to be a Catholic who believes in his church's teachings that life begins at conception. But then he also believes that he will not impose his belief on people who are not Catholic. I consider this the ultimate disconnect. He believes that God is the giver of life and God has created new life in the womb. But then he also believes that other people can kill those lives over and over and over and over again. I just don't see how he can support believing God is the giver of life and then allowing other people to kill their children. I just don't see it. The church is teaching, not just the Catholic Church, but I believe the church in general. Teachings on human life is not just derived from the Bible. It is based on sound scientific facts on human reproduction, based on objective facts about genetics and DNA. Even if Biden were to dismiss the theological argument, there is plenty of evidence from science and medicine that human life begins at conception and that the viability benchmark is absolutely meaningless. So this leads me to another thought. I heard a broadcast just a few days ago, which the speaker says that the pro-life movement makes the mistake of falling into the pro-abortion trap of talking about weeks. A 20-week ban, a 15-week ban, a 12-week ban, a 6-week ban. He says that ultimately, these bans continue to permit abortion in many cases. Even the 6-week ban allows abortions during the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. The 15-week ban, the centerpiece of the Mississippi law that was challenged in court and heard by the Supreme Court, the Dobbs decision, would permit abortion beyond the first trimester. By 15 weeks, 95% of all abortions have already been performed. So how does that help saving lives, saving the unborn? The big complaint of Dobbs is the same complaint we had in Roe. The justices were asking the wrong questions. They were talking, especially in Roe, they were talking about a right of privacy or about women's rights, when they should have been asking the basic questions. Is the human embryo in the womb a living human being? Is the fetus in the womb a living human being? Do the rights for some, the mother, supersede the life of another, the baby? Why does one have to be killed for the convenience, to convenience the life of another? Does the human baby in the womb with unique DNA that no one else on the planet has or ever will have, does that unique life not have the right to live? These simple questions were never asked by the justices. No, we need to stay clear about talking about weeks. We need to get back to the basics. Human life begins at conception. Science proves it, and we've known this for a long time. Force the other side to answer our questions. Why do we always have to answer their questions, especially these journalists trying to trap us? Why do we want a raped teenager to carry a rapist child? That's a frequent argument that the other side gives. Why do we want to deny women their basic civil rights? Aren't living people already born, women in this case, aren't living people more important than only potential life? Well, the other side should be forced to answer our questions. When does human life begin? Is DNA present in human life at the moment of conception? When should human life be protected? Or if they say, at birth, they discredit themselves because they also say they oppose abortion in the final trimester. They supposedly oppose abortion in the final trimester, except for health reasons. Well, why stop at 24 weeks? Why is abortion at 32 weeks wrong? Ask them that. Why is abortion at 32 weeks wrong? Is it because they know that a human being exists in the womb at 32 weeks? Ask them, what is an ultrasound? Oh, that's a good one. Have these people ever seen an ultrasound? Whose image is in the ultrasound? Does that image show the body and shape of a human, or just a clump of cells? If a woman is pregnant, what is inside her uterus? And if something is inside her uterus, is it growing? And if something is growing, isn't it alive? Okay. I know talking to the other side is like talking to a brick wall. I have my mind made up. Don't confuse me with the facts. That's the problem. The other side has staked out a position. The unborn in the womb have no value. Women have all the rights. The other side will never waver from that illogical position. Even facts do not move them to the truth. Maybe, probably, only the power of the Holy Spirit can transform someone to change their worldview. They're seeing something here, like the Apostle Paul on the Damascus Road. He was bent on destruction, and God changed the trajectory of his life to become an evangelist. Okay. One of my favorite Bible verses is from Luke 4, verses 18 and 19. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to captives, not just people in prison. He's talking here about people who are bound in sin, addictions, things like that, and recovery of sight to the blind. Not necessarily people who are physically blind, but people who just can't see the truth. They can't see God's will for their lives. They can't see the pro-abortion people. Can't see the reality of the millions of unborn babies that they've slaughtered. They're blind to the truth. To set free those who are oppressed. To proclaim the favorable year of the Lord. Or I like to say, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. So I like to end on a positive note there. The power of God can set people free. And for a person, we hear about abortionists like in Bernard Nathanson, who by the power of God turned his life around and made him a Christian. So with that, I'll let you go. I'll see you next time.